We will now use the expertise we have developed in solving linear equations, in solving formulas, and also evaluating a formula. We will see what these actually mean. What is a formula? A formula is a relation connecting several variables. Well, let's take an example. Finding the value of a variable when all other variables are given is called evaluating a formula. In other words, you find the value of one variable when all the other variables are given. Evaluate the formula means find the value of one variable. We will start by reviewing some formulae from geometry. Again, we talked about a bit of geometry in the last class. We will review some more geometry now so that you understand the meaning of a formula. Now, what is the perimeter P of a rectangle? Now, here I have a rectangle. The length of the rectangle is L. The width of the rectangle is W. Now, if this is L, then this is also L, and this will then be W. So, a rectangle has two lengths and two widths. Is that right? Okay, what is the meaning of perimeter? Perimeter is the distance around. Add all these lengths. Now, when you add all these, there are two L's and two W. So, what is the perimeter of a rectangle? P equal to 2L plus 2W. Now, this is the formula that will help you to find the perimeter of a rectangle if you know the length and the width. So, if I now give you the values of L and W, you can find the value of P, and that is what we call evaluating a formula. Now tell me, anybody know what the area of the rectangle is? What is the formula for finding the area of a rectangle? You know the length, you know the width. Area of the rectangle will be length multiplied by width. So we have now seen two formulae. The first formula is for the perimeter. Perimeter of a rectangle is 2 length multiplied by 2 width. 2 length added to 2 width, not multiplied. 2 lengths added to 2 width give you the perimeter. The area of a rectangle is length multiplied by width. Alright, let's now look at another formula. The area A of a triangle is half the base length multiplied by the height. Have you ever come across that formula? If you have a triangle, this is the length of the base, we call it B. And if you now draw a line perpendicular to the base to meet the vertex of the triangle, this is called the height of the triangle. So if you know the base and the height, we can now calculate the area of the triangle. The formula for calculating the area of a triangle is A equal to 1/2 B times H. 1/2 base multiplied by height will give you the area of a triangle. Very useful formula to remember. Okay, let's look at another result in geometry that will be of use to us later on. When two lines cross each other at a point, the pairs of vertical angles formed are equal. Alright, let's look at two lines crossing each other at this point. Now, when it happens like that, there is one pair of vertical angles here, another pair of vertical angles here. And what this says is that those vertical angles will be equal. This angle will be equal to this. Those vertical angles are equal. So angle A equal to angle B, they are called vertical angles. Similarly, angle C equal to angle D, they are also vertical angles. Alright? Angle A equal to angle B and angle C equal to angle D, they are vertical angles. Okay, do you know what the circumference of a circle is? If we represent the circumference by the variable C, do you know what the formula for the circumference of a circle? What is the meaning of circumference again? It is the distance around the circle. You remember I told you about the value of pi. I then used that concept there. Now here is a triangle, here is a circle. The circumference is the distance around the circle. If r is the radius of the circle, then the circumference is given by the formula c equal to 2 pi times the radius. C, the circumference, equal to 2 pi times the radius. Remember that formula. It's a very useful formula. Alright, how about the area of a circle? If I have a circle, what is the area of this circle? Again, the area depends on the radius. The area of a circle is given by A equal to pi r squared. Area of a circle is pi r squared, where r is the radius of the circle. Okay, now will you be able to remember these formulae? It's very useful to remember as we go on into any other course, especially science or mathematics. Alright, let's now do a few problems. Evaluate A in the formula A equal to 1/2 BH. Can you remember what that formula is? That is the formula for the area of a triangle. Now, I gave you the value of B, the base. I gave you the value of H. You need to find the value of A. What all you need to do is replace your B by 7, replace your H by 8, and simplify. So using the values of B and H, we have A, the area, equal to 1/2 base multiplied by height, 7 multiplied by 8. And if you notice, look at this, 7 and 8 are actually on the numerator and 2 is on the denominator, and 7 times 8 is 56. 56 on the numerator and 2 on the denominator. Can you simplify that? 56 divided by 2 is 28. The area of the triangle where the base equal to 7 and the height equal to 8 is 28 square units. Alright, another one. Solve for P1 in the formula P1 equal to T1 P2 divided by T2. Now all these are variables. You see, P1 is the value of P sometime now. P2 is the value of P sometime later. We distinguish them by calling them P1 and P2. Each of them has specific values. So we are given the value of T1, that is 250. You are given the value of T2, that is 500. you are given the value of P2. So use the values of T1, P2 and T2 to find the value of P1. Is that difficult? No. Replace T1 equal to 250, P2 equal to 500 and P2 equal to 300 and T2 equal to 500. In the formula we get P1 equal to, look at this, T1 P2 over T2. Use their values. And now can you simplify this? Now factor the numerator and the denominator. Look at the way I have factored it. 250 is 5 times 50. And 300 I wrote as 3 times 100. And 500 is 5 times 100. Well, you know that replacing the values is not difficult. But once you did that, you need to simplify it. Now look at the way I have factored so that I can conveniently cancel 100. The 5 cancels with that 5. This 100 cancels with that 100. And we are now left with 50 times 3 on the numerator. Is that right? So P1 equal to 50 times 3, that will be 150. Okay, let's do another one. Find the value of W in the formula P equal to 2L plus 2W. Alright, this time watch it slightly different. The formula is P equal to 2L plus 2W. Do you recall that formula? That is the formula of the perimeter of a rectangle. Okay, I gave you the value of the perimeter. Perimeter is 18. I gave you the value of L. You need to find the value of W. So, what do? Let's first of all use the given values, replace the variables with their values. Replace P by 18, L by 5, and let's see what happens. So in place of P I have 18 equal to 2L. In place of L I put 5 plus 2W. We need to find W. Alright, that will be 18 equal to 2 times 5 is 10 plus 2W. Well, we want to solve for W, so what do? Leave the 2W on the right and move the 10 to the left. There you are. So that will be 18 and 10 goes from the right to the left, become minus 10 equal to 2W. 18 minus 10 is 8. 8 equal to 2W. We are looking for W. That means we now need to divide both sides by 2. 8 divided by 2 equal to 2W divided by 2. And of course this 2 and the 2 will cancel. On the right side you have W alone. And on the left side, 8 divided by 2 is 4. What is W equal to? W equal to 4. Okay, you can do these kind of problems without any trouble. Another one. Find the value of A in the formula. A equal to 1/2 H times B1 plus B2. Well, this is a different formula. We got the values of H. H is known. B1 is given. B2 also is given. What all we need to do is replace each of these variables with their given values and then simplify. Alright, let's do that. A equal to 1/2 in place of H I have 10, there I have, times, in parentheses, B1 plus B2. B1 is 20, B2 is 30. That is 20 plus 30. Alright, look at this. What is 1/2 of 10? This 2 goes in 10 5 times. 1/2 of 10 is 5. So this quantity now becomes 5. And what is inside the parenthesis? Inside the parenthesis is 20 plus 30. And that simply becomes 5 multiplied by 50. And 5 multiplied by 50 is 250. Is it okay? Alright, let me know if you need any more explanation on any of these things. Alright, look at another formula. Evaluate f, find the value of f in the formula f equal to g times m1 m2 over r squared. Now, actually this is the formula that describes the force between the sun and the earth. That's a great big formula. It's called the gravitational formula. Okay, now tell me, where does this g belong to? Is it in the numerator or on the denominator? Well, you know that when a number is multiplied by a fraction, that number actually belongs to the numerator. For example, look at this once. What is 5 times 4 over 5? Look at that. This is the same as 5 times 4 over 5. So that number belongs to the numerator. So this g actually belongs to the numerator. We know the value of g, we know the value of m1, we know the value of m2. I hope you have no trouble understanding the meaning of m1, m2. m1 stands for the mass of one object. m2 stands for the mass of another object. We distinguish them by calling them m1 and m2. They are variables. Okay, so all we need to do is replace these variables by their values and then simplify. So we get f equal to g is 0.5 multiplied by m1 is 100, m2 is 200, divided by the square of r. R squared means r times r. Is that right? So the value of r is 4. Therefore, r times r is 4 times 4. Alright, let's factor the numerator and see how we can cancel the denominators. Look at this. That would be 0.5 times 100 is 4 times 25 times 200 is 4 times 50. Now, why did I factor it like that? Seeing those two 4's on the denominator. Now I can cancel this 4 with that 4, and this 4 goes with that 4. And what do we now have? Remember, 0.5 belongs to the numerator, so that will be 0.5 times 25 times 50. Can you calculate that quickly? What is 0.5 times 25 times 50? Now, you know that multiplication can be done in any order. Can you tell me what is 0.5 multiplied by 50? You see, multiplying any number by 0.5 means find half of that. 0.5 of 2 is 1. 0.5 of 50 is 25. So 0.5 multiplied by 50 is 25, and 25 multiplied by 25 is, how many of you know? 25 multiplied by 25. Those are very nice results. Good to know. 25 times 25 is 625. There you are. Now, some of these values, like, what is 12 times 12? 144. Does anybody know what is 13 times 13? 169. What is 15 times 15? 225. 16 times 16, 256. 20 times 20 is 400. 25 times 25 is 625. You see, when you know your numbers, it empowers you. Learning mathematics becomes a pleasure when you know your numbers. So make an effort to know your numbers. Learn some of these multiplication tables. All right, another one. Find the value of E in the formula E equal to A1P1 plus A2P2. And I'm going to give you the values of A1 equal to 10, P1 equal to 0.2, A2 equal to 100, and P2 equal to 0.3. But all we need to do is replace these variables with the given values. Alright, let's do that. E equal to A1 P1, 10 multiplied by 0.2, there we are, plus A2 P2, 100 multiplied by 0.3. Well, we talked about this kind of multiplication. When you multiply a decimal number by 10, what happens to the decimal? When you multiply a decimal number by 10, the decimal will move one place to the right. So tell me, what is 10 multiplied by 0.2? The decimal moves one place to the right. 10 multiplied by 0.2 is 2. When you multiply a decimal by 100, the decimal will move how many places to the right? 2 places to the right. So what will be 100 multiplied by 0.3? 100 multiplied by 0.3, move decimal 2 places to the left. When you come 1, you don't find anything else there, so put a 0 there and then move. So 100 multiplied by 0.3 is 30. So that will be 2 plus 30 equal to 32. Okay, let's move on to another one. Find the value of A in the formula A equal to pi r squared. Well, do you remember that formula, A equal to pi r squared? What does that formula represent? It is the formula for the area of a circle of radius r. Alright? Pi equal to 3.14 and r equal to 2.5. Okay. What all we need to do is replace your pi by 3.14 and replace your r by 2.5. So what does that become? It becomes A equal to 3.14 stands for pi times when r equal to 2.5, r squared is 2.5 squared. Alright. Let me ask you this. In the last problem, we did 25 times 25. You remember what the value was? What is 25 times 25? 25 times 25 is 625. Okay, in that case, tell me, what will be 2.5 times 2.5? Well, each of them has one decimal place. You are multiplying 2.5 by 2.5. the answer will have how many decimal places? 2 decimal places. So if 25 multiplied by 25 is 625, what is 2.5 multiplied by 2.5? That will be 6.25. You see? Watch it again. You have 25 multiplied by 25 is 625. Therefore, 2.5 multiplied by 2.5, what all we need to do is move 2 decimal places to the left, 6.25. And now, can you multiply 6.25 by 3.14? You must do that. If you cannot do that, I don't know if I can help you. Alright? You must do that on your own. I'm not going to do that for you. So, that will be now, this 2.5 squared is 6.25, right? There you are. And so, A will be 3.14 times 6.25, and that will be 19.625 is the answer. Okay? Let's move on. Let's now see how we can solve formulas. Now, evaluating a formula is finding the value of one variable when the other variables are given to you. What is the meaning of solving a formula? Solving a formula means solving one variable in terms of the other. Alright, in other words, let's practice with one simple example. Solve y in the equation 6x equal to 7y plus 23. You see, solving for y means we need to have y alone on one side. Everything else must move to the other side. That is what it means, solve for y. It must read y equal to. Okay, to solve for y, remember, in order to solve for y, we must get y alone on one side. That means, first of all, we need to isolate the term containing y. Now, this is the term containing y, 7y. So, leave it where it is and move everything else from that side to the other side. That means this 23 now needs to go to the left. So we say isolate the term containing y. Isolate this term by moving 23 to the left. Move 23 from the right to the left. What does that become? It will become minus 23. It will be 6x minus 23 equal to 7y. I hope you understood that. Move 23 to the left, it becomes minus 23. The left now becomes 6x minus 23, and the right side is 7y. We have isolated the term that contains y. Now, if you want to solve for y, y must be on its own. It means the coefficient of y must be a 1. How will you make the coefficient of y a 1? Divide both sides by 7. That means the left-hand side is a quantity. You must divide that quantity. Now, divide both sides by 7 and watch how I'm doing it. 6x minus 23, the whole of the left side is divided by 7, equal to 7y divided by 7. And cancel these 7. We have now y alone on one side, and everything else now is on the other side. So we have now solved for y. Look at this. Y equal to 6x minus 23 all 7. There you are. Y equal to 6x minus 23. Look at the way I read it. 6x minus 23 all over 7. It's the whole quantity divided by 7. Okay? Let's do another one. Solve for y in the formula. 1 over 5 in parenthesis, x plus 3y equal to 4 over 7 in parenthesis, 2x minus 1. Now, whether we want to solve a linear equation or whether we want to solve a formula, if you have denominators, look at the denominators there. There is a denominator 5 on the left and a denominator 7 on the right. We need to get rid of the denominators because the denominator makes it very untidy. It's difficult to work with it. So the first priority is to get rid of the denominators. Tell me, how will you get rid of the denominators? Well, you need to multiply both sides of the equation or each term. Tell me, how many terms are there on the left? Let me see if you are able to understand that. We talked about this a lot in the last few classes. Well, on the left there is only one term. 1/5 times this quantity. That is a term. On the right side also we have only one term. 4 over 7 times the quantity. That means multiply left side and the right side of the equation by a suitable number so that the denominators will cancel. What is that suitable number here? Well, here that suitable number is the LCD of 5 and 7. What is the LCD of 5 and 7? 5 and 7 have nothing in common. Therefore, the LCD is the product of the two numbers. Alright, so multiply both sides by 35, the LCD of the denominator. 7 times 5 is 35. Multiply the left side by 35 and the right side by 35. Look what happened now. 35 times 1 over 5 multiplied by the quantity x plus 3y equal to 35 multiplied by 4 over 7 times the quantity 2x minus 1. What do you do now? Say 35 times 1/5. 5 goes in 35 how many times? 5 goes in 35 7 times. So the left side now become, can you tell me what is my left side now? You see 35 times 1/5 has now become a 7. So the left hand side now is 7 multiplied by the quantity x plus 3y. You see? Similarly on the right, 7 goes in 35 how many times? 5 times. And now this 5 will multiply with this 4. So this number is now 5 times 4, that is 20. And 20 is multiplied by the quantity 2x minus 1. Did you understand that? One more time. This number 35 multiplied by 1 over 5 is 7. So the left hand side is 7 times the quantity x plus 5. There you are. 7 times the quantity x plus 5 equal to, on the right side, 7 goes in 35 5 times, and 5 multiplied by 4 is 20. So this whole quantity is actually 20, and 20 multiplied by the quantity 2x minus 1. You see, our formula now became a lot more good looking. Alright, what is the next step? Our next step is, of course, to distribute Alright? Let's do that. Distribute both sides. On the left side, distribute 7. Can you do that? 7 times x is 7x. 7 times 3y is 21y equal to 20 times 2x. What is 20 times 2x? Is 40x. And what is 20 times negative 1? Remember, what's the sign? The sign of this one is negative. Multiply 20 by negative 1. That gives you negative 20. Alright, let's write that down. 7x plus 7 times 3y, 21y equal to 20 times 2x is 40x. And 20 times negative 1 is minus 20. Okay, we have reached so far. Sorry. Now tell me, what is our aim? Our aim is to solve for y, is that right? I don't remember. Well, yes, our aim is to solve for y. That means, look at the term containing y. Which is the term containing y? 21y. Isolate that term. What does that mean? Any other term, move it to the right. So 7x, now move it to the right. Now I know you will say, until now we said that there is only one term on the left. Yes, you see here, if you watch, this is only one term. 7 times the quantity x plus 3y is one term. But when you distribute it, it became 2 terms. I hope you understand that difference. Before distributing, it is 7 times a quantity. It's a single term. After you distribute it, it becomes 7x plus 21y. They are 2 separate terms. So isolate the term containing y and move the 7x to the right. What does that become? We have 21y equal to 40x minus 20, and moving 7x from the left to the right become minus 7x. And now on the right, simplify this. 40x minus 7x. What is 40x minus 7x? Is 33x. So 21y equal to 33x minus 20. And we want to solve for y. Means we want the coefficient of y to be 1. What do? Divide both sides by 21. That is 21y divided by 21. And watch again how I divide the right side. The whole quantity, 33x minus 20, all over 21. Divide the whole quantity on the right by 21. And now 21 cancels on the left, giving you y alone. And that gives us the result. We have now solved for y. Y equal to 33x minus 20 all over 21. Another one. P equal to 2L plus 2W, and we need to solve that for W. Okay, what is the method? We need to solve for W. So obviously we isolate the term containing W by moving the other terms to the other side. To solve for W, we isolate the term containing W, leave it alone on one side, and move the other terms to the other side. It means move 2L. This is not 21, it is 2L. Move 2L to the left side. Alright, so what will the left side now become? It will become P minus 2L. When the positive 2L goes to the left, it will become negative 2L. So P minus 2L equal to 2W. We want to solve for W. We want to make the coefficient of W a 1. So divide both sides by this 2. That will be the quantity P minus 2L all divided by 2 equal to 2W divided by 2. Again, watch how I divided both sides by 2. On the left side, the whole quantity P minus 2L is divided by 2. And on the right, the 2 and the 2 goes. And now we have W. We have now solved for W. W equal to P minus 2L over 2. So that is our result. W equal to P minus 2L over 2. You must learn how this process is done by practicing this some more on your own. Okay, another one. All these are familiar formulae, is that right? You remember that formula? A equal to 1/2 B times H is the area of a triangle. Now we need to solve for B. Solve for B. Okay, tell me what you will do here. The first thing to do when you see a denominator is to eliminate the denominator. We don't like denominators. You see? Eliminate. How will you eliminate this 2 on the denominator? Well, 2 on the denominator can be eliminated by multiplying by 2. Alright, so what do? Multiply the left side and the right side by 2. Alright, that will be 2 multiplied by A equal to 2 multiplied by 1/2 times BH. Okay, what is 2 multiplied by 1/2? 2 multiplied by 1/2 is 1. That 2 and the 2 will cancel. 2 multiplied by 1/2 is 1. So what is the right hand side now? The right hand side now is B times H. The left hand side is 2A. So 2A equal to B times H. What are we solving for? We are solving for B. That means we need to get B alone on one side. So this H, which is a coefficient of B, needs to go. What will you do? Divide both sides by H. So divide the left side and the right side by H. 2A divided by H equal to BH divided by H. And on the right side, H and H cancels, leaving you with B alone. We have now solved for B. B equal to 2A divided by H. Very simple skill, but sometimes you run into trouble there if you don't know how to proceed. So please practice these a couple of times on your own. Okay, next. Solve AX plus BY equal to C for Y. You need to solve that formula for Y. Okay, can you talk about it? What is the first thing to do? I want to solve for this Y. The method we have developed is isolate that term containing Y. The term containing Y is BY. Leave BY here and move AX to the other side. Is that right? Yes. So it will become AX will go to the right side, become minus AX. Is that right? Yes. So BY equal to C minus AX. And now since we want to solve for y, we need to make the coefficient of y 1. So divide both sides by b. Alright? by divided by b equal to the quantity c minus ax all over b. And now on the left, b and b cancels. We have now solved for y. See, a simple process. Y equal to the quantity c minus ax all over b. It's a solution. Alright, let's go on. Another one. Solve f equal to m times v over r for r. We need to solve it for r. Now, irrespective of what we want to solve for, our principle is if you see a denominator, eliminate it. So we have a denominator r here. How will you get rid of that denominator r? Well, simple. Multiply the right side by r and also the left side by r. That is the first thing to do. So eliminate the denominator by multiplying both sides by r. So r multiplied by f equal to r multiplied by mv over r. Alright, this r is on the numerator, this is on the denominator. That means these two will cancel. That is our idea. The r on the denominator cancels with the r on the numerator. So what is our right side now? Our right side is m times v. Our left side is r times f. So we have r times f equal to m times v. Okay. Now we need to solve for r. That means we need to make the coefficient of r a 1. Divide both sides by f. Alright, that will be rf divided by f equal to mv divided by f. On the left, f and f will cancel. We find r equal to mv divided by f. Okay, so solving formula is actually very simple. It is much simpler than anything that we did so far, but it is very important. Okay, so practice a number of these on your own. Let's do another one. Solve f equal to 9 over 5c plus 32 for c. Now actually this is the formula that can be used to convert temperature from Fahrenheit to Celsius or from Celsius to Fahrenheit. A good formula. Alright, we need to solve this for c. Well, tell me, what will you do here first? Do you see an enemy here? Well, don't confuse when I call something an enemy. Something that you need to get rid of in the beginning. What is that? A denominator. Do you see a denominator? Remember, when you see a denominator, well, you know you need to get rid of it. Here we have a denominator. But before that, tell me, how many terms are there on the right side? Let me see if you really have understood that. I've been asking you this for quite some time. How many terms are there on the right side? The right side says 9 over 5c plus 32. There are 2 terms. Okay, so in order to eliminate this denominator, you need to multiply by 5. But remember, when you multiply an equation, you need to multiply every term of the equation. So you need to multiply this term by 5, this term by 5, and this term by 5 to eliminate that denominator. So eliminate the denominator by multiplying each term by 5. So it becomes 5 times f equal to 5 times 9 over 5c plus 5 times 32. Very important to understand that. Alright, and now coming on the right side, what is 5 times 9 over 5? The 5 and the 5 cancels. This term now is a 9c. So what you have now is 5f equal to 9c plus 5 times 32. Let's write that down. 5f equal to 9c plus 5 times 32 is 160. Okay, what are we now solving for? You see, until now we didn't worry about what we were solving for. Our aim was to get rid of the denominator, which we now did. And now let's ask, what are we solving for? We are solving for c. That means we need to isolate the term containing c. What is the term containing c? Is 9c. So leave 9c here and move the positive 160 to the left. It will become negative 160. So you have 5f minus 160 equal to 9c. And now we are close to finishing it. We want to get c alone. Divide both sides by 9. So that will be 5f minus 160 all over 9 equal to 9c divided by 9. And 9 cancels on the right. We have now solved for c. c equal to 5f minus 160 all over 9. And that is the form of c. Now we have actually done a number of questions in solving formulae. Very important. Let's do the kind of problem before we close this lesson. Find the two angles marked A and B in the diagram. Now, do you remember in the beginning of the lesson we said if two lines cross each other, then the pair of vertical angles formed are equal. Angle A is equal to angle B. You remember that one? Now, angle A is given as 3x plus 45 and angle B is given as 7x plus 5. And now, you have been told to find the values of A and B. What are the measures of angles A and B? What is the principle we are going to use? Well, we are going to use the principle that angles A and B are vertical angles and therefore their measures are equal. Their measures are equal. So we take the measure of A, which is 3x plus 45, and set it equal to the measure of B, which is 7x plus 5. So 7x plus 5 equal to 3x plus 45. And now you have a linear simple equation. Let's solve that. Move 3x from the right to the left and positive 5 from the left to the right. And what does that give you? Well, 3x goes to the left becomes minus 3x. 7x minus 3x equal to 45 minus 5. Alright, 7x minus 3x is 4x. 45 minus 5 is 40. 4x equal to 40. What do you do to find the x alone? Divide both sides by 4. Alright, divide both sides by 4. We have 4x divided by 4 equal to 40 divided by 4. And 4 will go on the left side. X equal to, what is 40 divided by 4? 4 goes in 40 10 times. That gives me x equal to 10. But is that what we have been asked to do? We have been asked to find the values of A and B, the measures of angles A and B. What we have done is we have solved for x. We know x equal to 10. And so, to find the value of A, we know A equal to 3x plus 45. Now, bring the value of x and replace your x by that 10. So, A equal to 3 times 10 plus 45. That will be 3 times 10 is 30. 30 plus 45 is 75. Alright, the angle A is 75 degrees. Tell me, what will be the measure of angle B? If the measure of A equal to 75 degrees, what will be the measure of angle B? They are vertical angles, they are both equal. If A equal to 75, B also equal to 75. You want to check it? Well, B equal to 7x plus 5. So replace your x by 10. That will be 7 times 10 plus 5. That is 70 plus 5 is 75. Okay, let's move on. So the two angles are 75 degrees each. They are equal. Let's do another one. A drum has a diameter of 20 centimeter. Do you know the relation between diameter and radius? I want you to know these things. This is the diameter, 20 centimeter. Radius is half of the diameter. So, if the diameter is given to be 20 centimeter, what is the radius of the drum? It will be 10 centimeter. Alright, the question is, what is the circumference of the drum? You see, the top of the drum is a circle. There you are. That's the circle you are. Now, you need to find the circumference of that circle. And B, what is the area of the top face of the drum? Well, in the beginning I gave you a formula for the perimeter of a circle. Now, how many of you recall that formula? What is the formula for the perimeter of a circle? P equal to 2 pi r. You see? And what is the formula for the area of a circle? Area equal to pi r squared. Okay, so radius is half the diameter. Diameter is 20 centimeter, so the radius is 20 centimeter divided by 2, and that is 10 centimeter. Circumference is C equal to 2 pi r. Now, since you don't know the value of pi, leave pi as it is. That will be 2 pi multiplied by 10 centimeter. And what is 2 pi multiplied by 10? It will be 20 pi. So, the circumference, the length around the circle is 20 pi centimeter. Alright, what is the area of the circle? Area is given by the formula A equal to pi r squared. But again, we will not do anything with pi. We will leave it as such. That will be pi times the value of r is 10 centimeter. When you square it, it will become 100 centimeters squared. Look at this. 10 squared is 100, multiplied by pi is 100 pi centimeter squared is the area of the drum. Okay, I think we have done a number of problems in this lesson. That is, we found how to evaluate a formula and how to solve a formula for a particular variable. A very important skill. I want you to do the homework and learn this. You see, I always preach to you after each lesson that you must do your homework. Alright, please do your homework and get ready for the next lesson. I will see you for the next lesson later on. Okay? Alright.